Hey, everybody. It's a beautiful Wednesday, March the 24th. We're on our backup topic of National Chocolate Covered Raisins Day. And it's time for the Wise Guys and Girl and Matt, sponsored by Zellers. The lowest price is the law. As always, let's start with Sir and the weather.
A wonderful Wednesday indeed. Currently 10 degrees, actually feeling like 10 degrees, working our way up to a high of 12 today. A bit of a mix of sun and cloud, chance of thunder showers later in the day. And it looks like it'll be a dry, although a little bit gray, but warm Thursday tomorrow.
Well, born on this day in 1874, Harry Houdini never got to enjoy this delicious treat. When it comes to a national day, a chocolate-covered raisin, or a box of them, is worth celebrating. Did you know that more than 1 million Raisinets are produced per hour? That is the equivalent of a lot of Raisinets. I'm trying to eat better these days, as we all are, and I found that if you eat chocolate-covered raisins before a meal, it will take the edge off your appetite, and you'll eat less. So take that tip to the bank. It all starts so innocently, though. You have some chocolate, you mix some Rice Krispies, and before you know it, you're adding raisins and marshmallows. It's a rocky road. Oh, Tamik, it's your turn. Time to save us. It is time for two. What are we listening to today? A suggestion was that it's...
I heard it through the grapevine.
Right.
Well, might as well go with it because we're talking about raisins. And for those of you that maybe have never seen a raisin or the originator of the raisin, which is the grape, God knows, you know how long it takes a lot of people to figure that one out?
Well, that's right. I did hear that. If you rehydrate a raisin, that would be great.
It would be great. So... yes, the song I heard through the grapevine is an interesting song. It was done by 3 different groups / artists. Does anybody know which 3? Actually 4, I think. But at the time when it was written, at the original time when it was written, it was done by 3 artists.
I heard the Gladys Knight version.
Gladys Knight, yeah. You got Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, and then the last one is... come on, Paul.
I can't always be the go-to guy. I mean, Marvin.
Yes, Marvin Gaye. So what was interesting is the song was written, obviously, by 2 amazing writers that wrote for Motown. And Berry Gordy was kind of shopping it around his biggest artists. And he was trying to figure out who he should get to sing the song. And so the first, even though it was recorded by Marvin Gaye, and it was also recorded by the Miracles, the first time it was actually sung was by Gladys Knight and the Pips, which is very interesting, but they didn't actually record the song for release first. Then it was done by Smokey Robinson and Miracles. He didn't really want them to sing it, then it went to Marvin Gaye, and then he finally released it. So there's a lot of interesting backroom dealings when it came to that song. What I didn't...
the moral of the story is you better shop around.
You bet. Yeah, this is why we ask you these questions. So what was interesting about the song, and I didn't know this, it was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame, the song itself, for its historic and significance. So the version by Marvin Gaye was inducted in 98, but then in 2018, the version done by Gladys Knight and the Pips was also inducted, which is incredible that the same song has been inducted by 2 different artists, which just shows how you can still have 2 different artists singing the same exact song, but such an incredible impact, which shows the importance of the song. And the actual meaning of the phrase, I heard it through the grapevine, that's also very disputed. Some say it came from the telegraph machines in the Civil War, not machines, but the wires that they put up during the Civil War. Some people said it was like the human telegraph that the enslaved people during the war, they would communicate and travel information. However it came about, it was definitely popularized by Marvin Gaye and by Gladys Knight and the Pips. So what an amazing song to be inducted twice into the Hall of Fame. So yeah, that's it. I heard it through the grapevine. Everybody knows that song.
Honestly, I thought it was like gossipy grape pickers in vineyards. That's what I.
Listen, we talked about it, right? Who knows where any of this stuff comes from? Everybody decides that they own it, right? But what an amazing song! Again, it's one of those songs when you hear it starting up, you know what the sound is. And for those of you that were around in the 80s like me, you might have remembered it from the California Raisins as well. So that was also popularized during that time. And, take that for what it is, because looking back, in hindsight, we're in 2021 now. There are definite issues that you can take with how the song was used and portrayed in that era, but that was another popularized version. Look at Matt's face. That's like that.
By the way, some things from the 80s are best left in the 80s, right?
There's a lot of 80s. Listen.
Still having nightmares about the California raisins.
So to me, speaking of the California raisins, have you ever had raisin wine? It's a little dry though.
Raisin wine? That went like this is like this. Which is grapes, but yeah. Anyway, that's it for me. That's it for me today.
And thanks to Principal Officer Roop for bailing us out again. He's really trying to live by the motto, if he tells us everything, how are we going to learn? But thanks for bailing us out.
It's his raison d'etre.
Somebody's got to keep an eye on us.
Warming up for the show.
All right, it is time for Ventures with Venturo. Venturo, what have you got for us today?
Wednesday, so as usual, we're covering a book. Today's book is Sometimes You Win, Sometimes You Learn. Life's greatest lessons are gained from our losses. And this is one from one of my favorite authors, Mr. John C. Maxwell. So, everyone experiences loss, but not everyone learns from it. And Sometimes You Win, Sometimes You Learn, Maxwell explores the most common lessons we learn when we experience loss. He then explains how to turn a setback into a step forward by examining 11 elements that make up the DNA of those who learn. Learning is not easy during downtimes. It takes discipline to do the right thing when everything is going wrong. And don't we all know about that, right? The book provides a roadmap to doing just that. As Maxwell often points out, experience isn't the best teacher. Evaluated experience is. So go check out that book, Sometimes You Win, Sometimes You Learn. Life's greatest lessons are gained from our losses by John C. Maxwell. That is Wednesday's read, and that is it from Ventures with Ventura.
Right on. Another one for our bookshelf. Excellent learning today, Venturo. Thank you. Welcome to this week's edition of The Quiz, where our own Vice Principal Botnick and our special guest, Matt Schulman Quote Machine, will compete together to earn a gift certificate to the Skillet Restaurant based on the number of points that they accumulate. Matt, how are you doing today?
Living the dream, but half the time it's a nightmare.
Oh, tell me about it. Tell me about it. Oh, wow. Well, awesome that you're living the dream, though. Remember, the points are based on your responses, accuracy, creativity, and how much they amuse the wise guys and girl. And most points are awarded if you can make Ventura laugh out loud. Today we are raising the roof. I can't wait to hear your reason for your responses today to these questions. Question 1. What is the most popular way to eat chocolate-covered raisins? Matt Schulman.
I mean, I put them in my mouth. What do other people do?
Your mouth?
Is that your response, Vice Principal Bodnick?
I would say straight out of the box.
I think some of us were enjoying grapes of some form before this eating meat.
Oh, gosh. Yes, or by the handful.
That was going to be my second response.
All right, so 100 for your first response, 150 for your second response. Matt knocks it out of the park for 250 points. Question 2. How do Raisinets get their shine? Vice Principal Botnick.
I would say by moonlighting Keebler elves.
And what did the Keebler elves do to them?
I don't know, but I'm not so sure that I want to eat Raisinets again.
All right. Matt Schulman.
Expensive hair product.
Oh, yes. Witness Vice Principal Botnick in full form today. Yeah, I think that's worth 250 points. They're actually polished to make them shine with expensive hair products.
Oh, I thought that was a nebula.
Very nebula answer. Question number 3, as we head into a new points record. According to statistics that I made up for this quiz, we could receive 17 Raisinets if what happened? Matt Schulman.
If we trade in all our Sizzler coupons.
Oh, ooh, that would be high treason for our sponsor, Vice Principal Botnick.
Well, I believe that according to the statistics that you looked up for this quiz, I would say you could receive 17 Raisinets if you found a box with 17 Raisinets in it.
Vice Principal Botnick, this is 3 times now you've come up with the correct answer. Well
Yes.
done.
No collusion.
500 points.
Absolutely no collusion.
My goodness gracious. This is becoming a weekly event for you. 500,000. We've got a record 1,780 points today, which translates into $17.80 plus the dollar that Principal Officer earned earlier this week. So we're up to $18.80 at the Skillet Restaurant. Congratulations, gentlemen. Well done.
It'll be a good weekend.
Oh, you know it. All right, it's Wednesday. It is time for Wednesday's word.
Have you ever made the mistake of having an extra glass of wine and then the next morning, you got the headache and sort of achy, just not feeling quite right? That sort of brings up to mind that famous word bariatric. That's raisins that are just old wrinkly grapes. When you can't handle an extra glass of wine, that means that you've now become a bariatric.
Oh, well, very good, sir. Very good. Very punny. That could be it for us, everybody. Thanks to our fans and friends and odds and ends for listening. Have a great Wednesday. We are the Wise Guys and Girl and Matt, leaving you smarter and happier than you were yesterday.